So what we're gonna do is we're gonna I'm gonna delete this, sorry. Um what we're gonna do is we're gonna talk about how um how we handle this problem. This problem is, like I say, is in a Wi-Fi password problem. Before we talk about this, we're gonna talk about today we're gonna do arithmetic, which is 98% of the problem that you're gonna be facing. Arithmetic can be finish everything, but they are super easy, so that's why I didn't talk about it first. So I would say 98% of problem, or pretty much 99% of problem, you're supposed to do the problem arithmetic. So using arithmetic. But there's a 1% of problem I will prefer to geometric. But we study that 1% first. Okay, we study a 1%. Which two situations you would rather use geometric? I'm going to mention those two situations. First, if it's a circle or semicircle, right? Circle, semi or quarter. So semi or quarter, not semi. As how to spell semi? Semi, yeah. Okay, semi and quarter, right? So the format usually is r squared minus x squared, and it's definite. So let's say between negative a to a. So that is one situation. B, the second situation is probably absolute value of something like x minus 5 dx between like say a to b. And this is a two situation I will use geometric, which is we spent most of the time yesterday. Today we're only gonna spend some time to talk about this particular problem. But before we talk about this problem, let's talk about two more property. There's two more property here is integration between a, negative a to a, of f of x dx if fx is odd functions. Now let's answer some question. I think third period Nathan asked me, he says, Mr. Ye, when the integral you get negative value, if integration of something to something you get negative value, what does that graph look like? Okay, what does that graph look like? So that just means I can say this, very easy to understand. What does that graph look like? Well, that graph could be below x-axis, right? And that just says between a to b. In this case, integration between a to b of f of x, if this is the function, then that will end up to be negative. Now, if you switch your boundary, then you can make it positive. So the boundary usually here, I would say prefer to be lower bound. Usually prefer to be lower number than a. But it can be higher number, you just have to switch the sign. Prefer to be lower number. Okay, so usually you start from 0 to 2, not 2 to 0. Unless the question require you to get from 2 to 0. Then you had to put a negative sign in front of it. Now, again, why did I talk about this before I talk about R function? Can you guys name me an R function? Any R function that you can think of?
X cubed.
Thank you, x cubed. Very, very good. Good job. So y equal to x cubed. So x cubed is going to look something like this. Something like this. Now, if you see the area on the curve here, Let's just say from here to here is A, and this is blue. And here is negative A. This is red. So if you integration from negative A to A, it's going to what? Equal to what? What does that equal to? What do you think? I don't tell you what A is, so it must equal to what?
The same thing.
No. What do you think what value you're gonna equal to?
Negative.
No. Good try though. He's brave. He's had more ball than you guys. You just laugh at him.
Is it 0?
Good job, Vincent.
Yes.
See? I must answer a question. Why is it equal to 0 though? Vincent, can you explain to other people why it's equal to 0?
Because it's like under the x, so the it would be negative.
This will be a negative?
That would be the negative number, and then the one above it would be positive, and it's both A, it would be the same number.
Yeah, they are symmetry, right? They are symmetry origin, so this area must equal this area. But one is positive, one is negative, so they offset each other. Does that make sense? They can cancel each other if they offset. So that is the first property that you need to know for the R function. The second property you need to know is between negative A to A of f of x dx. If this is an even function, so if f of x is even, zero to A of f of x dx. Now I want you to fill in the blank, this blank. Negative A to A of f of x dx is equal to a blank between 0 to A of f of x dx. How would I fill that blank?
1/2.
No. But you might have the right approach. If you're thinking it more. Huh?
Negative 1/2?
No, you're just getting colder now.
Would it be 2?
2 is correct. Madeline and Vincent think alike. Right mind think alike here. Of course, as 9 is the one that started, which is good. It is 2. Why? Because think about it. If I have even function, what's a good example of even function? Absolute value. X squared too. So this area here, guess what? If we integrate the whole thing, is gonna, let's just say this area is, I don't know, k, and this is a k. Well, that's gonna be 2k if I go from negative A to A, but from 0 to A, it's gonna be 1k. So 2 times 0 to A is gonna be one of the ideas. One of the things is gonna double because they are even function. That's the nice thing about even function. So you have to in combination of this to understand. Any questions so far? Okay. Now let's solve this giant problems. And I'm gonna paste back here. I'm gonna say, hey, let's see if we can accomplish this problem. First of all, do you know how to see if the function is even or odd? This is pre-calc idea. Do you know how to test if a function is even function or odd function? Anybody here can tell me how do I test even or odd functions?
Make x negative and then this even.
You are absolutely right. So if the odd functions, f of a negative x is gonna become negative of negative of the x. Is even functions, then f of negative x is equal to original function. This is the opposite. This is the opposite. Now, the question says it went from -2 to 2, x cubed cosine of x over 2 plus 1/2 distributed square root of 4 minus x squared dx. Now, I say this is a one term, and this can distribute backwards. So that's going to be between -2 to 2, x cubed cosine of x over 2 plus half of integration between -2 to 2 square root of 4 minus x squared. Now, the nice thing is this. Sorry, I'm missing something. Nice thing in this, I'm gonna put it here because this one is gonna be 4 minus x squared. So I just distribute them. Now Slate did mention, says, hey, look, Mr. Year did taught me about this. From -2 to 2 is what? 2 pi. 2 pi times half is what? Pi. Now all I gotta do is worry about the left part. And you're like, okay, how do I know about left part? We are gonna look if this is even or odd function. So we're gonna say there's some type of g of x is equal to x cubed cosine of x over 2 square root of 4 minus x squared. We're gonna plug in negative x, see if it be opposite than before. So negative x to the third cosine of negative x over 2 square root of 4 minus negative x to the square. I will never test this question, so you don't need to worry about if you, I just wanted you to understand it. I had to answer this one. Hello? 他来了吗？哦，是木头的。嗯哼。他有没有要来做的时候无所谓。他没有，我当时对木头。Okay, so now after you did that, that's going to be negative x to the cube cosine. Well, what's cosine of negative x over 2? Because cosine of negative x over 2 is actually even function. Why do I know it's even? Because if you look at a cosine graph, it should look like this. And it should look like this. So they have symmetry. So therefore, that's going to become x over 2 because that's even function. And then square root 4 minus x squared. So it turns out this is a negative of g of x. If it's negative, this means this is odd functions. An integration from -2 to 2 of odd function, this will result equal 0. So be 0 plus pi, the answer is pi, the answer is equal to 3.14 is the password. Now that's why I said geometrically understanding can take you that 1% of problem, usually that any student cannot do it. This is actually a math competition questions. But if you if you just know how to do arithmetic, you can never get this question done. Now, is this useful for AP exam? More likely not. But AP exam had the way to ask you that they want you to do it geometrically. We will talk about it at a double block. But as of right now, this is just understanding. Okay, now let's talk about arithmetic. Arithmetic, we're going to talk about fundamental theorem of, so we're going to talk about fundamental theorem of calculus, part 1. Now there's a part 2. This one's going to help you how to find definite integral between a to b of some type of small function, non-capital f of x dx is equal to the capitalized of f, which is integrate that, between b to a. Why that straight line? The straight line represents I already take integral. I haven't do the difference. So what do I mean by difference? Difference is equal to f of b minus f of a. That's it. Only take 10 seconds to teach today. I'll go to example though. Imagine, remember that 4 dx? I don't know which value, but you can probably tell me this is 15, right? So this one's going to be 4x between 5 to 4, 5 to 2, sorry. Sorry, 12, right? So then it's going to be 4 times 5 minus 4 times 2. That's equal to 20 minus 8. That's equal to 12. So if you do geometrically, I would have got 12. And if I did arithmetically, I would have got 12. Now remember, 99% of the problem, you can done it arithmetically. There's only 2 type of situation. And actually FRQ, but remember we told you switching the boundary between 5 to 2, 4 dx. What am I gonna get? What do you think I'm gonna get?
-12.
Yes, but I'm gonna show you why it's a -12 because it's gonna be 5 to 2 now. So it'll be 4 times 2 minus 4 times 5. So that's equal to 8 minus 20 equal to -12. Do you see that? The property actually work. So if you switch the boundary, the thing's gonna switch. Am I going too fast? No? I'm gonna show you something that says x squared minus, oh no, minus 3x dx between 2 numbers. What will be the 2 number? Between 2 and 5? How about that? Again, I will get x cubed over 3 minus what? Minus what? 3x squared over what? 2. Now I'm going to draw a straight line between 5 and 2. I'm going to show you arithmetically there's a shortcut, and it's not a shortcut, but it's going to be 5 to the third over 3 minus 75 over 2, right? I can do that, right? 75 over 2. And sorry, I'm just going to change it to 125. If I plug in 3, it's going to be a over 3 minus 12 over 2, right? Anybody can find my mistake, or are we okay? Before I move on? Okay. So I'm going to show you here, that's a shortcut. Originally, you probably think about combine these common denominator here. I won't combine it first. I will match it up the same denominator from the first parenthesis to the next parenthesis. So I will get 128 minus 125 minus 8 is what? 117, I believe. Is 117 over 3. Do you see that? And I will be, now I will match this one. So it's going to be plus. So it's what? Minus what? 63 over 2. And now I can combine the fractions here. So I need to multiply this by 3 over 3 and this 2 over 2. So that's equal to 6. And this is going to be 234 minus 189 over 6. And that's going to be 45 over 6. Simplify down, it's going to be 15 over 2. 7.5. That's arithmetic. The best way is you look at the same denominator, you can subtract them first. Otherwise, you have to do least common denominator on both sides. You take it longer to do, more likely to make mistake. So learn how to do things more efficient. Look at one thing, subtract the other side. That's keep the same denominator. You don't have to combine them. And you don't have to combine the second part. Does that make sense? If you want to check if this is right, is just type in the calculator. So it's between, what you're going to do is type in INT. If you're going to do INT, so all the homework you can test from which one to which one? 2 to 5. Then you're going to do like this and just do a parenthesis. What's the function? X squared minus 3x. And dx, right? 7.5. You see that? So you can get an evaluation. You can check if your answer is right. Now, that's not how you do the homework. You actually have to do arithmetic. But you can check if your answer is correct. Are we okay here? Okay, we're going to let you try one. So integration between, I don't know, 1 to 4 of 4x to the second minus 5x dx. Fantastic one. This fantastic one. Now I want you to check your answer on decimals. So learn how to check your answer on decimals. See it's right. You already have a. You already have a. You should already download the apps. And also, do you guys check out a calculator for TI Inspire in the library or no? You did? No. Last night, do you have a calculator?
Not that one, but
You have TI-84?
no.
Okay.
TI-84.
See. What kind of calculator do you have?
No, the one that so I'm not sure. Start that.
Oh, that one's no. That one's not good enough.
How much does it cost to buy it?
I will buy. I won't buy it new. I'll buy used. Probably between 60 to 70 bucks. I was really evil.
I didn't have
I would tell students this.
It's 279. 279. It's 279. It's 279. Yeah. 46. No. Oh, yeah.
Remember the same denominator trick? It'll be easier for you to simplify rather than.
Yeah. Know how to add, right?
Okay, so remember that one questions, right? Remember that one question I speak of the other day from yesterday's homework? We know it's 24.5. But how do I do integration of this? Can you guys check out what the question was? Integration from 2x minus 1 from what? Negative 3 or negative 2? Negative 3 to 4. Okay, so in order to do this one arithmetically, it's so much harder. What's the answer, by the way?
46.5.
46.5? Yeah. Okay, so you should get 46.5 if you did it right. Now, let's look at this question. If you would have done arithmetic, it was so much work. But let's remember how to do it geometrically. Geometrically, I said, oh yeah, I can do this very easily. So it's 1/2 here. It's going around here. So how do I find the height? I plug in the 4. That's equal to 7, right? And I plug into the other side. Negative 3. I also get a 7. And this is 3.5 here. This is 3.5 here. So it'll be 3.5 times 7 times 1/2 and times 2. So 2 cancel out. 3.5 times 7 is equal to 24.5. And I'm done with my work. It's so beautiful. It's just done really fast without too much work. If you've done arithmetic, you have to understand this side of function is going to be 2x minus 1. And you have to understand this side of function is going to be negative 2x minus 1. And imagine the work that you're going to be doing. You're going to do integration for the negative of 2x minus 1 dx from negative 3 to 1/2. That's the first boundary. The second boundary is going to from 1/2 to where? 4? Of 2x minus 1. Actually, dx. And I'm going to do it in terms of change this to red. Because that just represents the red part. This represents the blue part. They represent the red part. And you had to do so much work for this. So that's going to be integration from negative 3 to 1/2. And that's going to be x squared minus x, I think. Plus integration from 1/2 to 4 of, wait, sorry, that's already integral. My bad. from 1/2 to -3. So here is gonna be x squared minus x between 1/2 to 4. Just by doing this, already more work than you've done geometrically. But that's okay. So it'd be negative, and you had to put a parenthesis around it. And then that's gonna give you 1/4 minus 1/2 minus, it's a lot of work, minus 9 minus -3. And that's just the work on the first part. The second part is gonna be x squared. No, sorry, it's just gonna be 4 squared. It's gonna be 16 minus 4 minus 1/4 minus 1/2. Look at how much work is this. You're gonna be there all day, and more likely you're not gonna get it right because it's just that much work. So this one's gonna be -1/4. This one's gonna be minus 9 plus 3, so it's -12. Plus, that's gonna be 12 minus 1/4, I think. So that is going to be positive 12, positive 1/4. And I think I messed up somewhere. This one's negative. So that's going to be plus 12 plus 1/4, 24.5. So much work to do just a simple things. So which way would you prefer if it's absolute value? Geometric, hopefully. Because on the test, you're not going to get it right. So much work. I think class is the end, right? Okay.